Well, so much for the under. What's up, everybody? Jim Rodriguez here with Dodgers' latest. A wild night on the north side. Dodgers lose 11 to 10 in 10 innings. A very frustrating night for the Dodgers. Before the game, well, we saw Imanaga for the Cubs, Dustin May for the Dodgers. May with an ERA of 1. Imanaga had a whip under 1. Well, that all went to hell in a handbasket. Dodgers got 3 in the first inning thanks to Tommy Tanks, a big home run, and May gave it all back, giving up 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning. All told, an 8-run first inning. It was 5-3 Cubs before the seats got warm at Wrigley Field. In the end, the Dodgers blew not only a 3-0 lead, but they blew a 10-5 lead as the Cubs came back to win the game, scoring late in the 8th, 9th, and 10, and ended up winning the ball game 11-10 in 10 innings. Tanner Scott blew the save in the 9th. That is his second blown save this season. And for Dustin May, not good. 5 innings, 10 hits, 7 earned, and 3 walks. That ERA tripled, almost quadrupled from a little bit over 1 to now 3.8. But hey, the Dodgers put it behind them, and it was an interesting night for Andy Pages, right? What a night for him. We kind of raised some eyebrows when we saw Andy playing left field. You know, we were wondering, what's Dave doing? It's been the thing about Andy Pages. He's been playing center field because they're trying to find a spot for him, you know, now that James Outman is in the minor leagues. Hyesung Kim, who we've talked about here, who's a second baseman, they've been playing him in the outfield to try to kind of push Andy Pages. Well, Andy now moving over to a corner position, and he said it's tough. It's a lot more room out in left field, and he struggled a little bit. Not only did he make an error, but he also then redeemed himself by throwing out a guy at home plate. And he also hit a home run. So what a night for Pages. He hits a homer his third of the year, makes an error in left field, and then ends up throwing a runner out at home plate from left field. Quite a night for Andy, but he's still hitting a $179. So we're still, what are we going to do with Andy Pages? That's the big question. So much talent there, so much effort. And you know what? It's tough. You know, you play center field. Now you got to play left field. Part of the big league experience, I get it, if you want to be on a big league roster. But for Andy Pages, he is doing the best he can, especially with Hyesung Kim out in AAA breathing down his neck. James Outman, I don't know if he's ever going to come back up. He might be in a big trade with Bobby Miller. We know the White Sox are interested. We know the Dodgers have been dangling him out there to try to get Lewis Robert to come over and play center field. And Tommy Edman could move over there as well, but Tommy Edman's been an absolute monster this year for the Dodgers. Been the MVP pretty much for this ball club from an offensive standpoint. But the Dodgers have one more in Chicago, probably going to be a bullpen game, then off on Thursday and head home to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Miami Marlins. Now, speaking of rehab, speaking about minor leagues, well, Clayton Kershaw took to the mound again on Tuesday, this time in Double-A Tulsa. 3 innings, an earned run, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts. Probably the best part of the night was he ended up facing the Royals' number 1 prospect and the 20th prospect overall, Jack Caglione of the Royals. He's a Florida Gator, and Caglione got 2 hits off of Kershaw. But all in all, 30 pitches for Clayton. Pitched really well. That's his second rehab start. Remember, on April 16th, he went 3 scoreless innings for Oklahoma City in AAA. So he's getting a little bit closer. He's on the injured list till about May, maybe end of May. Not going to probably see him till June, maybe the All-Star break, but that toe seems to be responding. Will be interesting to see what the Dodgers do with Kershaw now that he's made a start in AAA and AA. Is it, he's not eligible to come off till the end of May, so just building up that arm, building up that stamina. It was good to see Clayton doing. I'll tell you what, and for those minor leaguers to have a guy like a Clayton Kershaw, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, MVP, 32 strikeouts away from 3,000. To have him in your clubhouse and kind of pick his brain, that's an amazing thing for these AAA and AA players. So a pretty good night for Kersh on the mound in AA Tulsa against Northwest Arkansas. And finally, there's been some talk about Ohtani returning to the mound. That's right. Remember, that's been his whole point. He wants to be the two-way guy. He wants to pitch and hit. He was exclusively a hitter last year, and boy, was he winning the MVP, helping the Dodgers win the World Series, becoming the first 50-50 guy ever in Major League history. Ohtani has been throwing bullpen sessions very quietly, about 30 pitches every week. He missed last week's bullpen session for the birth of his first baby girl. So congrats to the Ohtanis and welcoming in their baby girl. Talking to Dave Roberts, he is going to have Ohtani pitch a light bullpen session on Wednesday in Chicago and then go ahead and throw a full bullpen session on Saturday when the Dodgers get back home. He's been going a bullpen session just about every week, 30 pitches, slowly building them up, but I thought it was very interesting. This is how far he still is from actually being able to pitch in a Major League game. No sliders. He's not allowed to throw sliders, so it's just building up that arm, getting ready, slowly but surely. Again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. We talk about it ad nauseum here on Dodgers Latest. You got to get these guys ready because come September and August and into the playoffs, we'll be ready. I don't know if we want to see Ohtani pitching. Do you want to see Ohtani pitch? I would rather focus on him on just being a hitter. We saw what he did just as a hitter, an incredible season, but he's a competitor. That was part of his deal when he signed with the Dodgers, that he wants to be a two-way player, be able to pitch and to hit. You sort of hold your nose and say, okay, let him do it, because, boy, if it surely affects him being a hitter, I wouldn't want any part of that. But that's part of the deal you get with Ohtani. Slowly but surely, he's coming back. And the Dodgers still have to worry about Blake Snell. Blake Snell, we talked about it, felt pain during his bullpen session. He's got left shoulder inflammation. No word on Blake Snell on his timetable. And, of course, Tyler Glasnow suffered cramps. Thankfully, it wasn't an arm, it wasn't an elbow, it wasn't a shoulder. Cramps. Not the first time he suffered cramps, so wondering why he's not getting the proper hydration before his starts or why he's losing it out there. So we should be able to see those guys this weekend when the Dodgers come home and play the Pirates and the Marlins over at Dodger Stadium. Big week ahead. Night game against the Cubs on Wednesday, off Thursday, and then the Dodgers home against the Pirates. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Of course, hit me up on X and Instagram at JRodShow. And, of course, subscribe here at Dodgers Latest. Love to hear your comments and love to see you subscribing. Have a good one. It's always time for Dodger Baseball right here on Dodgers Latest.